This is the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose, where I strategize with business owners on how to grow and scale their businesses to hit their income goals. This is episode 358 of the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose. Today, we're going to be talking about from novice to pro, your roadmap to blogging best practices. Now, before we jump into that, I want to make sure that if you haven't already grabbed your Blog Like a Pro guide, that you get it. We're going to walk you through a lot of the things that we're talking about within this episode so that you have the space and the worksheets to be able to go through and work through a lot of this. Plus, we touch on keyword research, which you know is so important. So you can go to your actual notes, the blog post that is written with this, or you can go right into your podcasting app and you'll see it linked there to grab your Blog Like a Pro guide. All right, so let's jump into this. To be able to uncover the art of successful storytelling and engagement with our comprehensive guide to blogging best practices is going to be really important for you to be able to move forward. So the very first thing that we need to understand for blogging best practices, it's the importance of blogging and understanding why you are doing it. You have to understand the principles behind blog marketing. We're going to link to that in the show notes because we did an entire article on blog marketing, the purpose behind it, and what you are really looking to do when you create your content. You want to make sure that you are always answering a problem that your readers have. What is that problem that you can answer? What is the solution that you can offer to them? And you want to stay within your niche. We've talked about this quite a bit, where when you are trying to define your niche and figure out where you need to be within your niche so that you understand who your audience is and really are able to create content for them that is going to be able to help them. They need to be able to find that solution in what you are offering. With the next piece of what we really want to be able to understand and to be able to put into practice is to be able to create captivating content. Content where we can see a step-by-step because we're offering it for our readers to be able to understand how to create what it is that we're trying to get them to be able to create. So whether that is a recipe, whether that is a DIY, whether we're trying to give them homeschooling advice and principles to be able to put into maybe their own classroom, you want to be able to have a way in which you are captivating them with that content so that you are structuring it so that people can it makes it really easy for people to be able to follow and to read. That's where the structure of your post comes into play, because your headlines, the way in which you may use bullets or the questions, the way in which you organize your questions is going to help them as well. And of course, one of the things that I always talk about is the importance of your blog voice. Your voice is very important to be able to give those storytelling techniques that you offer. Your voice is different than anyone else's out there. So a lot of times when I have people ask me, is blogging dead? I always kind of giggle because blogging allows you to be able to give your own unique perspective. And people are always looking for that. We're looking for factual, for you to be able to back it up and to be able to teach us something in the process. But you have your own voice, the way in which you're going to tell it, the way in which you're going to walk us through getting that to the complete solution that you offer. So you want to make sure that you don't ever lose your brand voice when you are creating your content. The next thing that you want to make sure that you are taking a look at with blogging best practices is navigating SEO and keywords. I have talked about this on numerous episodes. Mariah came in, we talked about the 3 SEO mistakes that we see most often. There's a lot that goes into this, but when we are looking at SEO, search engine optimization, the most important thing that you need to understand is keyword research. You have to understand how often something is being searched for when you create a post about it. And the only way you can do that is to use a tool that is going to give you that information. So whether you are using SEMrush, whether you are using Key Search or Ubersuggest, Keywords Everywhere, those are all tools that you can use. But you want to make sure that you understand how often people are actually searching for the title, the thing that you are going to be writing your content about. Because if you call it something silly like love bug fruit cups, and that's your keyword that you're using throughout, no one's searching for that. It's something that you made up. And I'm speaking from experience. You can find love bug fruit cups probably still over on the Melrose family, even with the new owners. But it didn't rank well for SEO because there was no search volume for love bug fruit cups. But when I went back and switched it to non-candy Valentine's Day ideas, now the search volume was there. So it's understanding how often people are searching for those keywords, and you have to use a tool in order to do that. You have to be choosing relevant keywords that have higher visibility, that are going to allow you to get eyes onto your content. And then when you are creating it, you have to make sure that you are optimizing your meta descriptions, your headers, and your images for search engines so that as they crawl your site, they're able to tell exactly what your content is about and who it is meant for. The next piece of what you want to take along for your blogging best practices is to have some visual appeal. We know that video has become very popular. It is going to help you if you can create video content that is embedded within your post. If you can show me, rather than just tell me how to do something, it's going to make it that much easier. You're going to have more time on page. You're going to have people coming back to you because they see you as the individual resource. So whether you are using high quality images to do this or you are using video content, you want to make sure that you have high visual appeal for them. You also want to make sure with your blogging best practices that you are engaging with your readers. You have to give them a way in which they are going to interact with you. So whether you are doing this using social media platforms, telling them, leave me a DM on Instagram, I'll be able to answer your questions. You'll notice I do that in just about every single one of my episodes because that's an easy way for you to be able to have engagement and interaction with me. You also want to be growing your email list. That is one of the easiest ways that you can have good direct contact into their inboxes to be able to ask them questions and to be able to provide them with more information. So when you are creating a blog post, you want to make sure that you are incorporating a related opt-in freebie in which they are going to want to get, and in exchange for getting it, they give you their email. So making sure that you have a way in which you are doing that is going to help to engage your readers and keep them coming back often. The next blogger best practice is going to be consistency and frequency. Creating content as consistent as possible. I'm not telling you have to create content 5 times a week, but create content so that it's consistent, so that if you can only get out one blog post in a week, do it. If you can only get out once every 2 weeks, just keep it consistent so they know what to expect and so that Google starts to understand how often you're going to be putting out content. If you can get to a point where you don't have a ton of content and you can post to your blog twice a week, I would recommend that. That's going to make it as consistent as possible for your readers and for Google to understand. Now, correlating with that, I also would recommend that your email be as consistent as possible. You heard me tell you when we were talking about email marketing statistics in 2 episodes ago, where I talked about the fact that I email my readers Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. It is 3 times per week. They know what days they are coming and they know what to expect. It helps to create that consistency. So finding ways in which you can do that. The next blogger best practice is going to be promoting your content, finding ways in which you can make sure that you are leveraging the audience that you have. And the first place you need to be doing this is your email marketing. You need to be growing your email list and sending your readers to your blog post. Just because someone has been sent something 6 months ago does not mean that the new people on your list have read that. So leverage that content that you have created. And if you are looking for the social media side of things, I would recommend choose one platform, get really good at it, and then look to potentially bringing in a second or third platform, or hiring someone to be able to take over that platform for you so that you can fully leverage that content and be able to get in front of them. So whether you're going to be using Pinterest or you're going to use Instagram or TikTok or Threads, whatever it is that you have decided you're going to want to use, you have a way to leverage it. The last piece of blogging practice best practices is making sure that you're monitoring and taking a look at your analytics, because you want to fully understand what content is doing the best for your audience. What are the emails that they are opening, so that you are not just blindly creating content, but instead you are creating content that makes people take action, that engages with you, that correlates into money for your products, your services, the things that you offer. So really taking a look at and monitoring everything that is going on within your business. A lot of us are very much creatives. We don't like to look at the data, but like we talked about 2 episodes in your email marketing statistics, it's so important to understand your email stats. You can't just blindly decide what's working if you're not backing it up with data. So making sure that you understand that. The last thing that I want to make sure that I talk about is to evolve your blogging strategy with what is happening. Things change, especially in the blogging world. We went from regular Google Analytics to GA4, and it was a tech thing, and it was something that a lot of bloggers were very overwhelmed with. We also have seen new social media platforms pop up that have been something that we thought we needed to be on or may not needed to be on. You have to be willing to evolve with what is going on. This is the same thing with AI. It is the reason that a lot of us are talking about it, because it can speed up your process. I know a lot of people kind of put the brakes on when they hear AI, especially bloggers, because we get the feeling of, oh my goodness, I'm going to be replaced. That's not what I'm telling you to use AI for. And I don't see that happening, because you need a unique perspective. Google is going to continue to want unique perspectives, and AI is not going to give that. But what AI can do is speed up your process as a blogger in order to create content, not writing the content for you, but giving you the opportunity to brainstorm, outline, and leverage the questions that AI know are being asked about a keyword that you have already researched. So be willing to evolve. Don't get stuck in your ways of doing things a certain way. Always keep an ear out for what is working and how you could potentially apply it to your business. I'm not telling you to have shiny object syndrome, but I am telling you that you need to be willing to evolve and find things that are going to improve your business and keep the engagement with your audience. All right, you guys, I appreciate you so much for taking the time to listen in. Make sure if you haven't already grabbed your Blogging Like a Pro guide that you go and grab that. If you haven't already left a rating and review, why not? I would so appreciate it if you took the time to do so. You can tell me what your biggest takeaway was from this episode, or just leave me a rating review and tell me what you think. I appreciate you all so much. Until next time, I will see you all then.